Hey guys, sorry for the late upload. I had a long day. Just came back from Rhode Island. And yeah, so I got VIP, as you can see, is 2025. Even got a shirt. They had so many different styles of shirts. Because they had a lot of celebrity guests come in. They had like designs like for Flash and Starship Troopers, Beetlejuice, and things like that. And then I got here Rhode Island Comic Con, which is like in the way of Back to the Future because they had some cast members from Back to the Future. A lot of stuff. They even have here a VIP bag. And, yeah, you have, like, the pin, which is, like, the fidget thing. I thought it was a light. You get, like, free comic, VIP lanyard. It looked like it's for Beetlejuice. And then, what else? And then I just had it. Where did I get it? Oh, it's in my hand. So a pin that is Beetlejuice's theme. So yeah, that's what I did. Problem is, I don't think I'd ever go to this con again. Not that it was a bad time, it was so disorganized. Usually almost all of the Comic Cons that I have gone to, or the different conventions that I've gone to, you're in your VIP line, and while you're waiting, you are at times given your VIP bags right then and there, or when it's time for early access, because you're a VIP, you go in and you get your bag from whoever, you show them the badge or whatever, and they give you your stuff. What's your name? You say your name, you give it to them, and there you are. This one was not like that. So I had to go up to the 5th floor just to get a bag. And the funny part was they weren't telling you, hey, the line starts here, maneuver your way. Once you're here, you're going to go get your wristband, which the wristband was like, you had to have it on you for 3 days. Which I have here. So this was, they'll give you perks and things like that. So a lot of people were complaining, where do we go? And I don't blame them. It's just like, there was no line saying, hey, VIP section, this is the line here. None of that. So once I figured that and I got my thing, I said, oh, do we get shirts? Because usually they would get the shirts. No, you have to go to the show store and present this card that's $25 off. But you still have to pay for the shirt, which was like $5 if you have, that. But still, it was so confusing. So you had to go back to the 3rd floor, on top of which there was celebrities on each floor. The problem is, okay, what of the celebrity that you are looking for? So usually the celebrities are all in one area. So you had the ground floor, which is for ice skating, for like hockey games and stuff like that. They had celebrities there, but not the celebrities that I was looking for. I was looking for Neil Newborn and Maggie Robertson, Lady Dimitrescu. As you can see here, he did Nemesis, Nikolai, and Heisenberg. Or actually, no, he was in Resident Evil 3. Still a good picture, though. Probably he did the motion captures and things like that. Either or. I got these were the people I was looking for. Luckily, I was able to squeeze myself in because early access today, because it's Friday, was 2 o'clock. But everything was so disorganized. You had to go to this pavilion. You had to go here. There were stairs that were designated to be up or down. It was a mess. It wasn't a bad experience. It was just really, really messy. And then I got others. I thought this was too good to pass up. And she signed it too. She even made Demetress look like she's thinking of me. Oh, anyway, yeah, it was confusing and things like that. It was just a headache and things like that. It was. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever go back there again. Just because it was so disorganized, it was like no one knew what to do, and you could tell too. So, yeah, But I made the mission. Unfortunately, Neil Newborn doesn't do video, which is fine. But Maggie did, and she was very, sweet and very kind. It was also, it was still disorganized even with the celebrities because, like I said, there were different celebrities on different floors. And unless you knew where the one you were going for, you didn't know. And then on top of which, you had letters on the floor that said V and G. Well, what does that mean? Oh, general this and general that. I think there should be signs stating, hey, if you're general admission, here you are. If you're VIP, here you are. It's only fair. Yeah, none of that happened. And also, I'm not gonna disclose what happened, but let's just say an individual just did not know what space meant and also what your turn is. Wait your turn. That's cool and everything, but give people space. Because when I went up to Maggie Rowland, there was a individual who A, was not next. B, you had to go in order because we were given numbers because they had to go to a panel. So this individual, so I was there. Even though I was number 4, I was there. They still let me up because no one else was there. There was a young lady who was before me, but she was in the back of the line. They brought her back, but she wasn't cashed out. Nothing. I was cashed out because I was waiting in line to get the panel. I just wanted it done and over with. And they said you could stay there. The individual was all up still in that space. Any other person would have been like, oh, let me move. Let me take my stuff and move. I don't want to call it. This individual did not. And poor Maggie, which I understand, I would be confused too. And so she was like, oh, who's this? Are you to get? And I said, no, this is my stuff. And the person still didn't understand, oh, I need to move. So I was like, I turned to them, hey, I'm sorry. So I took their stuff, gave it to them, like, I'm sorry, I didn't say you need to F off. I said, hey, I'm sorry. Here's your stuff that I don't want no confusion. And I sort of mosey on, hey, as well. In other words, yo, you need to go in your place. Not only that, you're not even next after me. There's another individual who you're stepping over. Be respectful. I get it. We all want the same thing. But I mean, be kind, be considerate, be respectful. There's nothing wrong with talking, but don't talk over people when they're asking questions or they're trying to see, what the pricing are, ask what can be done, what can't be done. We all want the same thing, but be respectful or be considerate. So, I don't feel bad for hey, here's your stuff, you need to go. It's just, come on, man, it's common courtesy. Even I myself will go, oh, let me move my stuff. Sorry about that. Let me get here. Because that causes confusion. And at the same time, some people aren't going to be as, what do you call it? Not patient, but kind of not many people are going to tolerate that. Some other people would say, yo, blah, 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 over something so trivial or you need to, there's some people that just don't want people all up in there and then aggression starts. There's no reason for that. So, like I said, I had like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I took this, like they're getting confused, and obviously it was my turn, and I had my stuff ready, and she was even talking to me. I was like, look, I'm sorry, you gotta go, bud. I'm sorry, man. You know, you're you're driving my patience, yet I'm trying to be nice. I don't want any issues. I don't want to get kicked out. I don't want to cause, something so like a stupid thing, like get away. No, it's more like, yo, hey, I'm sorry. It's my turn. You're not with me. And it's not even your turn. Period. You got a couple other people who are before you. Be respectful. But I got what I wanted, and she was so sweet. She was so kind. I even got pictures. And also, what's funny, Neo Newborn, I thought he was doing an Astarian thing with me, but he was actually, genuinely asking a question. He said, "Have we met?" I said, "Excuse me." He goes, "Have we met?" No. I thought he was going to say a line from Boulder's Gate. No, it turned out he was actually asking a genuine question, like I said, because he thought he saw me. He thought I knew him. I'm like, no, we've never met. And it's true, we've never met. This was my first time meeting him. And so here he is. Very kind gentleman. He gave me some really good advice. You know. Here's Maggie trolling me because she said she saw I was so short. Like, I'm just gonna have some fun. Is this okay? Yeah, she was fun. She was awesome. There were some celebrities there too, but I didn't. This was my mission. I got what I wanted, and now I can start doing phase 2 because I gathered all the stuff I needed to gather. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know if it's like that all the time. I don't know. I do feel like maybe the organizers of the convention should probably be more organized because it was so confusing. You know, I didn't buy anything only because it just. I have been so far this year. So I went to Syracuse. I went to Connecticut twice. I went to South Carolina. I went to Pennsylvania. I went to Rhode Island. Yeah. Yeah, I think I went 5, 6 different conventions this year. And maybe I'm conned out. Conned out. Because all of pretty much everything they were selling, and it was the same. It was the same and everything. It was just, yeah. It's just pretty much the same. Almost every month, except for August, I'd gone to a convention. I went to a convention in June, and what was it? I went to a convention in June. It was the it was the Sci-Fi Valley Con. Went to one in July. It was the Southeast Game Exchange. Did not go to the one in August because I couldn't afford. I was going to go with someone, but 2 tickets was just too much. But we went in September. And in September, that was a con in Connecticut. It was Retro World Expo. In Hartford, Connecticut, yeah. Then it was the one in Syracuse in October. And yeah, it was the one in Syracuse. It was in October. And then it was Rhode Island. So, because in Pennsylvania, I had the Twilight cast, had Resident Evil, another Resident Evil. That wasn't even planned. Yeah. So yeah, I've gone to 5 cons almost every month. I think I'm conned out. So we'll see. We'll see about next year. There are a few cons I want to go next year, but we'll see about that. Especially since they take place later in the year. And with everything going on in the world, I have no clue. It's kind of hard to plan when you don't know what's going to happen. It's hard to plan for plan B's, plan C, plan D, all this stuff when they can go out the window. But all in all, like I said, this con wasn't a bad con. I didn't have a bad experience. I'm like, oh my god, I'm never going to go to con. No. With me, I think it should have been more organized. Um, you can't control people. Like I said, you can't control people. Some people just don't know how to be considerate. That's all, just doesn't have that thought like, oh, let me take my stuff and let me back up. Oh, it's not my turn. Let me get in line. Oh, okay, I got you. Just common courtesy, common courtesy. Yeah. Did that ruin my overall experience? No, because it was like, okay, I've tolerated enough. I'm trying to do this. I paid for what I paid for. We're not together. We don't know each other. You need to move your stuff. I'm sorry, especially since I'm there and it's causing some confusion. I even said to the person, "Hi, I'm sorry. I'm here. Here's your stuff. That way there's no confusion. Here you go. You know, like I even said, I'm sorry, so and so. Here you are. I apologize. It's causing some confusion. You know, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, not that the person was a bad person, just was kind of uncourteous. No, not kind of. It was very uncourteous. It's just like, uh, you know, I don't know. It's just me. It's just like, okay, there's a line, dude. Go in the line. Not trying to be mean, but there's other people, even myself. We're here waiting. You know, you just don't mosey on through. Yeah. But con needs to be more organized. People need to learn more of what common courtesy is, and yeah, that's about it. That's just it. Those are just only my two, what do you call it, observations, things like that. But like I said, I can't control one and two. I can't control people and have them be more courteous. I can't control that. How to tell organizers how to organize their cons. I can't tell them that because at the end of the day, I don't have a say. I don't make the final curtain. They do. So yeah, like I said, there's stuff that I can't control. But overall, it was a good time. I got what I needed. I left because I was only there for one day. So I got what I needed. I'm happy. I got a shirt. I got the badge. I can now put this badge with the other badge. With the other badges that I have here. Deadpool. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I went to a lot this year. Retro Game World. Yeah. Yeah, I pretty much went to a lot of places. What the crap? Yeah, that's about it. So, happy Friday, guys. That was my con experience. Sorry for the late upload, only because I just got home, it was late. So I don't understand that. Why is it when you go to a destination, it doesn't feel as long, but when you're returning home, it's a lot longer? Why is that? Shouldn't the return home be just as fast? Or not feel like a drag? Like, I've noticed that. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with long days, and after a long day, you're just ready to go home, but it feels a lot longer because you still have the trip to get home to. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with that. I don't know. But, yeah. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and be safe out there. I'm gonna go to bed. After I post this video, I'm going to bed. So, yeah, that's about it. Have a good day, guys.